The people of Cambodia come out of a culture rich with heritage. For centuries, civilizations and tribes have lived throughout this tropical land, each with their own unique customs and traditions. Almost 800 years ago, Cambodians completed construction of the Hindu temple Angkor Wat, the largest religious structure on the planet. The area around the temple was home to an estimated 1 million people and a center of national identity and pride. But to most of the world, Cambodia is better known for its troubles than for its accomplishments. The temples of Angkor Wat have been sacked by armies and thieves, with monuments desecrated to make statements, or for pieces to be sold on the black market to the highest bidder. Centuries ago, the settlement was widely abandoned, following a religious and political shift of power. The ancient temples were lost to obscurity, overtaken by the jungle for hundreds of years. Even more notorious is the country's recent history of atrocity. The early 1970s saw the rise of the infamous KHMER ROUGE government. Led by a man known as Pol Pot, the administration devastated the population in an attempt to create an ideological paradise. Intellectuals, ethnic minorities, and potential dissidents were rounded up to be imprisoned in TUOL SLENG, a former school that was converted into a prison. Most were executed. Of the 20,000 Cambodians sent to TUOL SLENG, only 7 survived. One of the 7, who later testified in court against the crimes committed here, now spends days at the museum where the old prison still stands, telling his story to visitors who meet him.
I was here for 4 months, beginning on September 28, 1978. The guards accused me of being either CIA or KGB. They told me they would let me go if I confessed to it, but they made up stories like that just so they could kill you. We were released when Vietnamese troops came near. We ran away from the prison guards and from the Vietnamese because we were afraid of them too. Now I come here because I'm getting older. I want the next generation to know what happened, to share with the world about the real story here.
Beyond TUOL SLENG, the genocide claimed untold numbers of people in the notorious killing fields, where victims of all ages were left in mass graves. Malnutrition and poor medical care added to the tragedy. Before Pol Pot fled the Vietnamese in 1979, nearly 1/3 of the country had died or been killed. Today, a whole generation of people is missing. 70% of the population is 30 years old or younger. Tourism and industry have modernized particular areas and generated wealth for some, but Cambodia remains among the poorest nations in Southeast Asia. Away from the centers of commerce, dirt roads travel long distances, and the landscape looks much the same as it has for ages. Livestock and farm animals roam backyards. Entrepreneurs set up along the dirt highway. In the city, nearly identical shops line the streets. Pollution has reached a level of crisis. Many people wear masks to hide their faces from the dirt. Traffic seems to be largely unregulated, moving in continuous waves of predictable patterns, strangely consistent, determined by honks and nods. The motion presses on. In Cambodia, direction is difficult to distinguish. Urban nightlife calls to mind scenes from Western cities, while little appears to have changed for vast stretches of less populated areas. Old ways of life have made room for new innovations, but are yet to finally be lost to history. Even the ancient temples of Angkor have resurfaced. After centuries of anonymity, Angkor Wat and other nearby temples recaptured the world's attention in the mid-1800s. Extensive restoration has been done, and this sacred site has become a major tourist destination. But this just demonstrates the uncertainty of progress. One of the most impressive religious structures ever built has been turned into a business, and the money made has little effect on the lives of the majority of Cambodians. Common people live in poverty. They lack the skills and education necessary to provide for themselves, let alone their families. Many suffer from malaria, typhoid, or hepatitis. Few will likely encounter any extraordinary change to their circumstances. Caught between the forces of ancient heritage and economic globalization, the people of Cambodia stand between a future full of doubt and a broken past to which they cannot return.